as well. Okay, so I'm sending out the draft links to the captains, and we will get this going. Hopefully everyone is having a great evening so far. We just watched, if you're watching earlier, we watched a Division 2 game between Obsidian and Cloud8, which Cloud8 took a very close game on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And here we go. Now Miasma eSports has chosen Infernal Shrines this week. This is one of the more popular maps, fairly standard at this point. I'm still kind of disappointed we haven't seen any Warhead Junction or anything like that. Or no, we saw one Warhead Junction last week, which is not bad. But this is a map we've played forever, or we've watched forever, and we know all the ins and outs of it. The global heroes like Falstad and Brightwing are very powerful. That Murky ban is actually Zarya. Top Drafter still has not updated to include Zarya, so here we go. So powerful picks on this map are Sylvanas, Kerrigan are still very good. Kerrigan, of course, provides a lot of mobility on top of sustain when on this map. And of course, she has great killing potential, rotational advantage. So we see Zarya and Malfurion bans come out. No surprise there. Those are kind of the two sort of OP picks of this patch. And we see Oriole being the first pick. Now this probably indicates they're going to pick some consistent DPSer like Lunara or Vala to pair with that, or even Hammer. And she has good AoE clear of her own, of course. Excuse me. And I haven't casted either of these teams before, although I must say We Play for Keeps is a pretty clever team name. I really like it. And Miasma eSports, this is my first time casting them as well. So it should be pretty exciting for me. I don't know any of these players or anything like that. Haven't talked to either of the captains, so except to give them the draft links. So we'll see what their team styles are like. And there's the Kerrigan pick. Now, I wonder if they're also going to take the Sylvanas. So Kerrigan will help you get all the minions or the monsters at the shrine, and Sylvanas will help you secure that advantage once you do get the Punisher. Other good popular rotational heroes here are Zul. Very good at lane control. You can actually just not bring him to the first shrine if you want. He can get a lot of value. He can get more value, in fact, staying in the lanes and just giving up that first shrine. But they do go with the Sylvanas, so this is a very powerful draft. And you would never see this kind of before the Oreo patch. Like, these two end up on the same team on this map. Either one of them one or both would be banned, or, you know, they go 1-1 in the split between the teams. But now that there are so many powerful heroes, we see lineups diversified quite a bit on this map and really on all maps. I mean, that's going to happen as more and more heroes are released, and I'm very happy that's happening. And also kind of with the the fall of Falstad's popularity, we see a lot of other picks opening up. Now, Chen is one of the best lane sustainers and fight sustainers in the game, especially with his recent buffs. I mean, he's gonna get nerfed next patch. That's how powerful he is right now. So his Panda Pals is a insane ultimate right now, and he can just last in the fight. You just don't have to worry about him. If you actually take, if Oriole takes the Empathic Link at level 7, Chen is guaranteed to take a lot of damage. and he can drink that off himself, but you can also capitalize on him taking that damage, of course, with the Empathic Link. Tychus is a very good hero on this map as well. I forgot to mention him. He, even before his buffs, before Odin's buffs, he was picked on this map with Odin, even in pro-competitive play, because that, I forget what it's called, the big red button or whatever it's called, the nuke is very huge, very good for wave clear, like all he has is AoE basically, in Odin form. So and then Odin got buffed to have 25% resistance, so we'll see if that happens. A very smart and astute Cho ban coming out from Miasma eSports in the second round. Cho, Gall, and Oriole are very good pair. Even better than Lunara, I'd say. Cho Gall is just insane for Oriole, gives her almost unlimited energy. Landing one combo will give her just full bar, so very good pick. And then ETC, very popular ban. That leaves kind of Muradin. Oh, well, there we go. Sorry, I didn't even see the Muradin. I was going to say that leaves Muradin as the kind of meta warrior pick remaining, and of course Miasma just snaps him up. Now this does leave Leoric. Leoric was kind of a popular pick on this map, kind of I'd say the pre-Oriole patch, but maybe even after. But certainly he's completely disappeared off the map now, so I would be very surprised if they pick Leoric into just a solo tank. His Q is fairly good at wave clearing, but you can just pick like Johanna or something if you really wanted to go double tank, but I don't see any reason they need to. Vala, of course, I guess there are no giant killers on Miasma's team right now, so. Vala, very popular pick. She's not very good at sustaining herself in terms of mana, so she really has to have good mana management, and she's super squishy. So, however, with two people diving in the front line with Muradin and Kerrigan, she should be able to stave off the pressure, except when Chen uses Panda Pals. Panda Pals can keep a lot of pressure on Vala and just keep her running away instead of doing what she does best, which is dealing out the auto attack and frost shot damage. So we see Zul coming out for We Play for Keeps, which I mentioned earlier in the draft. Very good at holding two lanes by himself, or in the rotation, in the 4-man rotation, 3-man rotation, wherever you want to put him in. And even if you're losing the shrine phase or just decide not to fight one of the early shrines the Punishers aren't really that bad. Now, of course, I guess they can't really give up early shrines since Miasma has Sylvanas, so that would be a really bad idea. Sylvanas kind of, just triples the power of Punishers. I've been in games where, we are the Sylvanas team and we've taken a keep off the first Punisher, so you gotta be super careful giving the Punisher to Sylvanas team, so I guess they will challenge it, and there we go, we see the Leoric pick. Now, the advantage of having a Leoric on this map is that you can just, even if he dies, he can just respawn in the shrine immediately, and the shrine phase is so long that he will likely come up, so you eventually kind of have a pseudo 6v5 if you choose to let Leoric soak all the damage at first, and that's why you see him being very popular, and his Q isn't bad at clearing the monsters. And we see the very popular Uther Kerrigan combo come out. Of course, with Divine Shield, Kerrigan has time to build up her simulation shields, she has time for cooldowns to reset. It's just been a very popular combo, both here on Tomb and Tomb of the Spider Queen, and there are some very obvious synergies because Kerrigan just needs to stay alive until she gets that breaking point where she's just unkillable. So we'll see how easy it is for her to do that. In terms of lane clearing, I would say We Play for Keeps has the advantage, and if Kerrigan is on the team that's behind, her job gets a lot harder. So we'll see if they can manage to stay somewhat even in the XP, and then transition into a shrine phase that will be beneficial for them early game, possibly, probably, since Kerrigan's such a powerhouse. And then if they can get an early Punisher or two, then they can very easily snowball the game. So I think in terms of ease of execution, We Play for Keeps has the advantage. They have tanky heroes that can kind of stand there, and all they have to, and their advantage, they can try to get their advantage from just better rotations and lane clearing. And whereas sorry, I forgot the other team name for a second. Miasma, sorry. Whereas Miasma has a very good shrine fighting team, but Kerrigan can die very easily if she doesn't jump at the right time, so she has to be super careful. Alright, introducing We Play for Keeps. Virus on Zul, Super Tall on... who's that? What the? Okay, Witcher on Tychus, Heron on Oriel, Alarius on the Panda, and Super Tall on Leoric? That's Leoric? Wow, that's some strange skin. Okay. And on Miasma's team, we have Rourke on Sylvanas, Oputz on... Wow, all these strange skins I've never seen before. Muradin, Goovy on Uther, Puppy on Vala, and Demon Hunter on Kerrigan. So we see the West Side Story fight coming up. Oh, and we have a pause from We Play for Keeps. Oh no, wait, the pause comes from Mannerly. Comes from Miasma eSports. Good manner pause. Pausing for the other team. Good sportsmanship. So we get a chance to look at some level 1 talents while they do that. Shade coming up for Azul, very standard. Swift Sweep. Now this lets Oriel be safer. I don't know if she's quite worried about her positioning with Kerrigan around, but taking this and then the increased area radius at level 4 will keep her the safest. And then we see Hopelessness, level 1. Press the advantage for an elusive brawler for Chen. Okay, so let's see if anything comes out here. Prone Prison goes on to Kerrigan. She takes a little bit of damage, but it looks like she'll be alright. Wow, she's getting pressured heavily. And we see the power of Chen in lanes. Of course, this is a 5v4. Vala is taking out the top wave, and we'll see if Chen rotates in time. Looks like he misses 2, maybe just 1 minion, so not too worrisome. And we see Zul in the 4-man rotation, which is what I like to see. Muradin, oh my goodness, suddenly taking a lot of damage, and he does escape. Didn't need anyone to toss him Lord of the Rings style, he just tosses himself. Now, in this lane, I think Chen has the advantage one-on-one. He just has so much sustain, and all of Vala's auto-attacking is for naught. And Chen has wave clear on top of his sustain. Look at all that damage that he's putting into Vala already. Alright, let's try to follow the 4-man rotations, though, because that's likely where the kills are going to happen, I would say. Vala would have to really overstep her bounds to get killed. She should be able to soak the lane, at least, so... and take some structure damage. Looks like they are sending Kerrigan up top to help her, though. And we'll see what happens in the upcoming first shrine phase. It looks like Muradin... oh, he misses the Drain Hope. Oh, Chen's actually jumping in once again on the Vala. Vala is just getting so pressured this game. Puppy... or the Panda is jumping back out. He's so elusive. Panda is such a great hero right now with all his mobility and the damage he can put out, and of course his sustain. Just walking around with full energy there. Okay, it looks like they're leaving Zul on top to get some XP. It does give them a level 4 advantage. Leoric's getting not bursted down, just slowly chunked down. Looks like Chen does overstep, and he goes down. Not bringing Zul to this fight is interesting. Like I said, Miasma has the Sylvanas team. Giving up this first Punisher is not a good idea. They might get a keep out of this first Punisher. Usually you would just get the wall and maybe a well, but they could get a keep, a fort with a Sylvanas. Okay. Well, they still have the experience lead on we play for keep side. They are down. They should just lead. Okay, Zul's still pressuring the 2 lanes by himself, as we see on the minimap, and that's what gives them their level advantage. But we'll see what Sylvanas can get done with this Punisher. So we do see the Majestic Span level 4, and Willing Vessel from Leoric, and Deadly Strike from Chen. Of course, there are a lot of different Chen talents being taken. Oh, nice Wraithwalk going backwards as the Punisher is jumping to stun him. If you time that right, and you could get a lot of distance backwards, and Leoric actually does go down. Leoric, of course, having used his Wraithwalk already, had no escape, and Chen gets caught there too. Oh no, this is the type of thing that will lose you a keep in the first Punisher instead of just a fort to a Sylvanas team. They need to really be careful and step up the game. Of course, Leoric's back already, and that's just the benefit of his trait, and that's why he's so popular on this map. Ooh, nice double stun over the wall there from Kerrigan. And it looks like the Punisher's gonna die, but they get the keep for it on top of that. And Zul, in the meantime, has been doing work, getting this wall as well, and putting damage on the forts as well. So they're not super far behind on structure damage, even though Miasma has gotten the more relevant damage out. But if, you know, if we play for keeps gets an advantage at some point, like let's say they kill 2 on a rotation, they could easily push down to 1 or 2 forts rather. So looks like Zul does get caught out there. That is one of the kind of dangers of having Zul alone, and which is why I really like him in a multiple man rotation instead, because he has no escape and he has to push the lane. That's his value. So he's often very far out in the lane, and then you can just set up a gank on him. So they remove the map pressure, and now they're ahead in experience as well. We see Vala's going for the multi-shot build, barb shot for Sylvanas. Really no surprises here, and we see the sustain build for Kerrigan. Looks like we don't have the piano build from Uther either, but it's not the full W build either, so very interesting. Okay, so Sylvanas and Vala are working on this, and Chen can't hold 2 of them alone, despite, or maybe he can. I'm just awfully mistaken. Okay, and Tychus was coming to try and set up a kill if they chose to stick around. And yeah, we just see the power of Chen as a laner. Like I said, he's one-on-one, he can beat anybody, I think, right now. And even 1-on-2, you see he's bullying the ladies back. Okay, so we see a 3-on-3 fight here. Murden's getting pretty low, but he can just walk out and let his passive do some work, or let his trait do some work rather. And look at how fast his health actually comes back up. Well, Uther helped in that as well, but even if Uther decided to save his mana or something like that, Murden would have been back at full in no time. Now we see Leoric having to use his Wraithwalk early again. Now he has to play safe for a while until that comes back up again, not get caught out like last time. And it looks like level 10 goes to Miasma eSports first, so... Oh, wait, but we play for keeps. Got it. Got their level 10 right now. Are they going to catch... Murden is a very hard get, so I doubt they're going to catch him, but... If there's a body block, oh no, if he had just moved up north a little bit before he started shooting. Nice stun from Oriole though, but the Dwarf Tross saves him again. And we see Panda Pals popped very early for the Panda, but it just gives more jump targets for Kerrigan, who gets the Divine Shield, and this is the combo we were talking about. Divine Shield with Kerrigan is so strong. Nice Entomb actually to lock out the rest of the team, and Kerrigan gets isolated as well as Sylvanas. That was a great Entomb. Even though Leoric died for it, that was a fight-saving Entomb. No doubt about it. Just completely segmented the team. That was like a super gust where you could like select 3 members to gust and not the other 2. Like just so well played by the Leoric there. And as we see, his death doesn't even matter. He's right back into it, clearing shrine monsters already. Whoa. Man, Leoric saved the fight, because with that early Panda Pals and everything, that fight could have really turned sour for Replay for Keeps. So we'll see. They have... oh no. Panda getting... oh, and another Entomb. That's the other great thing about Entomb, is that it has a very short cooldown, so keeps the fight out. Muradin hasn't used his avatar, though, and he comes back with his heroic advantage, and they just completely wipe Replay for Keeps off the map. 3 people go down, and here they're going to catch up and more. They're just going to get the second Punisher. It is an Infernal Punisher, so not the best, but in fact it is the worst of the 3 in my opinion, or Mortar Punisher. But and they have a Sylvanas once again, and this time the Punisher's even stronger, so we'll see what happens. So she chooses to use Wave to disable the fort. That can be a very unsafe play at times, but with the Punisher and a numbers advantage, she felt very safe doing that. Of course, they see Zul that is down there taking care of the bottom lane once again, leaving them to fend. Oh no, they didn't kite it over the keep wall, and the Aegis saves Chen, but okay, no, they're very low though, and Zul actually joins now. I'm not sure what he should do. Actually, the laser and the bone prism together is very strong, but the Divine Shield comes back to save Kerrigan, who jumps back in to finish it Leoric. Now the Panda Pal is putting a lot of pressure in the back, but if they all go down, he's going to die. Oh, they reform into Voltron just in time, but Kerrigan still finishes off another one. Oh my goodness, this is just turning out to be a disaster. It looks like they might be able to get Vala. They do, and can they chase for more kills? They're so low on Miasma eSports side, and Replay for Keeps really needs more from this. Okay, they get 2 more kills. Alright. They're caught back up. Level 13 versus level 13 now. Can they get any more? Let's see. They are trying to wrap around in case anyone sticks around or gets greedy and does these mercs, but it looks like Miasma eSports knows what's up. They know they can't stick around. Giving up another kill, a staggered death, would be very detrimental. Zul does the right thing and goes into lanes and starts taking advantage of his trait and puts pressure back in the lanes. Now, Miasma still has not lost any structures at this point, like no forts, so they really need to make a lot happen. Replay for Keeps does, that is. They need to win the next Punisher for sure. I don't know if they can withstand another Sylvanas plus Punisher onslaught together, so. Oh, looks like everyone's taking or destroying mercenaries at this point. They're not going to do much though. I mean, Sylvanas can just disable the mercenaries, and on the other side you have Zul, which clears them up pretty fast, or Leoric, or, you know, any other clearers, Chen, Tychus, all very good at AoE clearing. So. Alright, so the next shrine, luckily for Replay for Keeps, is mid. Now, they still have their fort mid, of course, which is why it's lucky. Nope, that was just the bug. That's still happening. Blizzard, please fix this. Where sometimes losing a structure will just announce that a hero has died. Okay, so it looks like Miasma actually is going to be late to the shrine a little bit. Sylvanas haunting ways in already. Of course, that's a pretty short cooldown, so she'll be fine before they engage again. So all their lanes are taken care of. They've got mercs pushing bottom, and Replay for Keeps really has to keep an eye on this because they lost that wall in the first push, in the first Punisher push, of course. So, oh, it looks like Divine Shield will have to come out on Kerrigan. There we go. Maelstrom popped, and a nice Wailing Arrow on top to stop Chen from doing anything. Chen hasn't even used his ult yet. There he goes, but so many people are so low already. Actually, it's Miasma having to back off. Look at all that damage that the Panda Pals do now with the new Panda Pals skills, that, like with the attack speed and the jump. It's just so much damage. And wow, look at that. They've already cleared up the Punisher with Miasma being late to the fight, choosing to clear up their lanes first, and just being pressured back. They had already taken it, and oh no, Kerrigan gets caught. Now we see why Kerrigan needs Uther. Without the Divine Shield, Jesus gets blown up so fast, especially with this team that can easily focus the Bone Prison target. We do see that Amplify damage is taken at 16 for Zool, so without a Cleanse or without a Divine Shield, the Bone Prison target is in so much trouble. It looks like they get a keep wall. Are they going to get any more? Kerrigan is coming back in about 10 seconds. So, oh, actually, Vala has the Hearth, so this should give the keep to We Play for Keeps. Now, you know, their name is plural, so before they match their namesake, they're going to have to get another keep. Actually, no, they're backing off right now. Very surprising. I wonder if it was worth it if even Chen just gave up his life to get this keep. I might have wanted to do that if I was the Chen, but you know, I'm not as good as these guys, so. Okay, so level 16 versus 16. Suddenly the structure advantage is equalized, even though the Sylvanas team has 2 Punishers already. We see just kind of a full W build coming out from Leoric, Unyielding Despair at level 16. Which is very good. Just capitalizing on all that avatar HP that Muradin has. Looks like, oh, what a nice entomb there actually. Too bad his team wasn't there to capitalize on it. But he managed to catch a very squishy target and Vala in it solo. Look at the Aegis come out to save Chen. Very nice. That might actually let him, nope, he goes down. I was going to say, I'm going to let him get up his ultimate to turn the fight, but, and Leoric and Zool goes down too. Oh my goodness, everybody's going down left and right. So Sylvanas is in a lot of trouble from the laser, but they do manage to take care of it. Leoric's definitely going to die. Oriel should be backing up already. Looks like they will at least get one more, I think. Oh, nice pushback from Oriel, but it looks like, oh, they're going to get both. This is going to be the game, I think. They're just going to disable this keep. With Sylvanas, it's no problem. And wow, that turned around so quickly. Miasma eSports, great job there. That one fight, and they went on the tankiest target with Chen, and they managed to bring him down before the fight even started. Leoric is gonna res, but what can he do? He's just a Leoric. He doesn't even have the damage to threaten this team. Actually, Chen comes out, and he still has his ult, remember, so he can push them back. And this is this the second failed core push of the night? Wow. Okay, I totally miscalled that one. It's just you're usually a team wipe at the keep. Usually means the end of the game, but I guess it is still fairly early in the game. I don't know, Muradin's gonna die here to the Bone Prison, and a shrine is up. Look at that, how convenient. Looks like they are choosing to clear out these mercs first though, so we'll see if this wastes enough of their time that Miasma can res and then catch back up. Now, with this keep open down bottom, Miasma always can try a backdoor play, so We Play for Keeps has to watch out for that, but doesn't look like they're going for it right now. Well, they're still gathering mercs. Maybe they're just getting the mercs to tank for them and then going for it. I mean, at the very least, this is going to force We Play for Keeps to not fully push with their Punisher, and that means it buys Miasma space to defend the Punisher openly. Now, I would have liked to see that We Play for Keeps actually leave one minion, or one Shrine Monster. They know they can just capture the Punisher anytime that way, and they could clear up their bottom lane before committing to this push. Looks like they don't have Zool with them, choosing to save the fort. Okay, he's coming back to deal with these mercs, but look at that. Mercenary, that Punisher got nothing done. It got one tower and a little bit of tower damage and wall damage, or gate damage. That's, I don't know. I would have liked to see them commit to one plan or the other, or at least take mercs or something. That they just didn't do anything to support their Punisher, so even with 4 people there, so it was kind of a waste of time for them. But, I mean, it's not like winning the Punisher was bad for them or anything, so the game goes on. They are first to level 20. Let's see what people take. Bone Spear, Shield of Hope, Hardened Shield, Sizzling Attacks, Purifying Brew. I don't know if Sizzling Attacks is... standard on Tychus. I don't really know Tychus that well, but everything else seems pretty standard. Alright, here we go. Nice, Entomb, locking in 2 squishies. Of course, they still have Divine Shield that they had to use on Vala, which means they're free to jump onto Kerrigan, which is exactly what they do. Panda Pals putting on so much damage with that attack speed. Nice Wheeling Arrow silences 4. But is it enough? They're on the run. Murden's already so low. That Drain Hope doing so much work on him. And yeah, oh man, just the sustain with Oriole and Chen and Leoric on this team. And of course Zool, since they were fighting in the lane, got some incidental healing from his skeletons as well. So they just couldn't fight them there, but they need to take a keep. There's so many mercenaries pushing their side of the map right now that they have to send Leoric back to do it, to try and cover their base. And looks like they're jumping on Chen again. Now, in the next patch, when Chen has lower HP and lower HP regen, he might have just exploded there. So, and meanwhile, blue team's core actually took 30% damage. Well, 29 to be precise. But they have to be really careful about the backdoor now. With Vala's auto attack damage, they could easily backdoor their core if we play for keeps isn't paying attention. It looks like they jump on Chen again. Poor Chen. Now he has no ultimate to save himself, so he really needs to be careful. Looks like a huge Shield of Hope comes out, and the Skeletal Mages come in. Nice Divine Shield to save himself, but can they finally take a fight? The Panda Pals are back. And they're, oh my god, once again, I mean, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but the Panda Pals are doing so much work. They do so much damage now, and they are getting a nerf in the patch, thank goodness. Oh, and Uther goes down again. Their redemption did not help him live any longer, really. He just came right back and died, unfortunately. And now with Chen just on your core, with Leoric on your core, can they do anything with these 3? Oh, look at all that damage on Oriole. They couldn't actually kill her, though, and it looks like they gave up 2 in exchange, and this will be the end of the game. Wow, what a back and forth game. I thought Miasma had it with their core push, but Chen and Leoric coming back to save the day, and then they just wrestled it away from Miasma eSports. Holy cow. What a game. And there's a long-standing pub theory in other MOBAs, at least, where the tankier team wins. I guess in this case that happened, but can't take any. I mean, aside from the draft, they played really well. That core defense into they just seem to win every fight after that, which is, I mean, you know, Kerrigan does fall off later in the game, but that was really extreme turnaround. I think probably with the amplified damage coming out on Zool was a big turning point where they could finally get a lot of damage on bursting down. And then the Panda Pals, of course, I mean, it doesn't look like a lot of damage on the hero damage screen, but he just zoned out 2 squishies on the backline by himself. It feels like every time he activated his ult. So just insane damage there. The Vala hero damage stat is a little bit padded because he was laning against Chen. You know, for any of you that care about the end of game awards in pubs, you can always just punch a bunch of damage into Chen for to pad your hero damage stats that don't really do anything. I don't recommend it because, you know, obviously the stats don't matter that much, but, you know, if you really wanted to. Alright, we had no one dying 0 times, but Ori only died once. So good job on her. Her positioning was really good. We saw a couple of great lashes coming out as well, and then Zool, just look at all that siege damage. Oh baby, and that's why Zool on this map is a very highly contested pick. And they even gave away the Sylvanas willingly. No problem taking Zool instead. So And I'm going to put up the talent screen so you guys can look at it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much to the teams for playing. Once again, I remind you about my Extra Life campaign. Please consider donating, and if not, just spread the word so other people might have the possibility of donating. 100% of the proceeds go to Sick Kids Hospital, a very great place that keeps children happy and, you know, gives them comfort in their times of need. So, thank you very much. I will have a Cheerly cast on Wednesday. I'm taking a day off tomorrow, so join me then and hit the follow button if you like the cast. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you soon.